I joined Mahdyar Jamshidi, whose work is featured in the exhibition, the photographs on the far end there. Mahdyar is a photo-based artist and researcher who works and resides in Tehran. He received his Bachelor of Photography from Islam University in Tehran in 2007 and his Master's in Studio Art, Photo Media, from the University of Sydney in 2012. And his Doctoral of Business Administration from the University of San Jose.
Yeah, it's true.
There's the evidence.
So difficult.
In 2016. He is a founder and director of Empty Space Studio in Tehran, which focuses on artist talks, design, and publication. Elham Puria Mehr is an independent artist, curator, and lecturer. She received her BA and MA from the Tehran University of Art and her PhD in art research, cultural discourse of curating in contemporary art in Iran, from Al-Zahra University in Tehran. Her research is focused on curatorial knowledge and social context. She has worked as a university teacher, curator, and writer over the past 15 years, as well as having curated exhibitions and curatorial projects in West Asia and Europe. Elham has lectured at international conferences, symposiums, and talks in Tehran, Singapore, Amsterdam, Vienna, and Vancouver.
Thank you so very much for being here. Also, thank you, Lisa, for giving us this opportunity to talk about the Mahdyar's project, Ecology of Pain. It's really difficult to talk in front of all these professionals here today, but we try to manage it. It's
do our best.
Oh, I hope so. It's Mahdyar and I started to work together from 3 years ago for the I Am Here project. It was a kind of ongoing project. It started when Mahdyar was in Sydney, and then this project came to Vancouver. He had a residency here in Griffin Art Project, and then now we are working together on the second part that is related to Canada. We are researching right now, but this project that you are seeing here in this exhibition, the title is Ecology of Pain. And I know that Mahdyar is a kind of research-based artist and always tries to work on the kind of ongoing project that goes to the different countries and encounter with the different cultures. So it's good to start the project because I'm very curious also myself to know more about the kind of inspiration. When you did start this project, Mahdyar, and why the subject of pain exactly happened?
Okay, thank you very much, Elham. First of all, I would like to thank Lisa Baldessera to give me this opportunity to have the exhibition and talk today. And thank you very much for everyone to come here and give me this time to we share my experience about the ecology of pain. So just first of all, I would like to very briefly talk about that. What is the ecology of pain? Actually, the ecology of pain is the ongoing and the base research project. So just it was, for me, it's like the investigation about the pain, which it was started in my country, in Iran, but it will be not limited in just only for my country. It will be expand around the earth. So just it's a kind of, if we consider this project as if they consider the country as a body, so we can say that my work is look like get some biopsy from the some mass of the cancer or just the pain or something like that. Maybe it's so ugly, I'm sorry about that, but we don't have any other way. So it has started from my country when I was far away, when I was in Sydney. So just in 2009, and then so just to read the news and then follow the media about the Iran and then
election. Yeah. I remember that at that time was a kind of protest against the government, and many people were in the streets. So you were not there in the country, you were in Sydney. So I think I can understand now more that why the observation for you and hearing the news from the media is important for your project, and it's so related to what you are doing in this project. So what exactly happened that you selected this subject, the ecology of pain?
Maybe it's very difficult to say that what was exactly the root of this project in my mind. But I can say that just maybe it's back to many years ago when I was studying the photography in Tehran, and then just I was really inspired by the book of the Susan Sontag regarding the pain of the others. So I was so inspired about at that time with these books, and then just it was always keeping in touch. I mean, keeping in my mind that how we can just get closer to reality if only we have access to the media, and it's most of them it is the filter based on the Susan Sontag said that just every part of the war they try to get the reality and the fact for themselves. So just it's not really trustable to get and find the reality through the media and the photos. But maybe it's for me, this project, it was kind of the exercise as first of all, how much I can be loyal with myself and faithful with myself, and just how we can just be impartial with to find the fact and reality. So I think.
Yeah, and I know that there was a story behind it that you said suddenly you heard from one of your family that inspired you more to research and investigate in the pain.
I was trying to explain about what was the root of that and what was the big deal in my mind. But just maybe, I don't know, after the green movement in the Iran and the opposition, it tried to just marching with the silent and in the street, and just suddenly the regime or just the government tried to just fight and hit, and sometimes it just they killed them. Just it was I was so shocking. It was for me, and because I was so far. And then just only that things I can get the information. It was as I said that we are the news and the media. So just after the backing in Iran, I felt that the people are really depressed, and just one day I remember that I was talking with my mom, and my mom accidentally told me about some story of some of our family. I mean that relatives. So the story was about the small family, which they were so religious, and they supported the current regime after the Islamic Revolution in Iran. And then just I found out that they have the two offsprings. One of them it was the boy, and the other one it was the girl. The son, after the parents encouraged them to go and defense from the country and then religion.
In Iran-Iraq war.
Through the Iran and Iraq battles. So just he was killed, and then through the green movement, the daughter was one of the member of the protest and the marching through the streets about the presidential election. And then she were killed as well, and then the mother, because of the the killing of her only daughter, got a depression and suffered that, and also she passed away as well. It was really shocking for me that how much the human can suffer, the pain, and just what was the really story behind that. And then I tried to get closer with the only man, the father was alive, and then get closer and just try to investigate myself. Okay, I hear the news and I heard everything about that. So how much it can be true with getting closer with the man, and just the project, it was started from at that time, and then I took the picture from.
So this is the first picture of this series, right?
This series we can show this one. It's the father, and can you just watch that? It's the who just told the story about that, what happened for their family. So
so it was a kind of observing the others and finding the pain of the others, and understanding of the pain was very important for you at that moment. But also I have a question that how you selected the other people for your project. For example, when we are talking about Puran Farrokhzad, that you can see her portrait in this exhibition, what was the reason that you selected this person?
Actually, just that reason I chose the Puran, because we know that the pain is not only for the just famous people or just through the news or just the media. Some people are has been centered for the just the news or media or story, but just I felt that just I try to just a kind of the decentralization as well as the I'm Here project. So just I try to record the whole of them. I was not who want to judge or just support some ideology or just big fan of some beliefs. I just, as an artist, as a photographer, I try to record whole of this documentation. So, for example, I started from this man, take a picture, and then I read about the news and just talk with the investigation and researcher and those who were journalists as well. And then I found the Puran Farrokhzad, because she was only one, the member of the family. She was alive in the Farrokhzad family.
Could you please tell us more about Farrokhzad family, why you selected Puran in this family?
Well, everyone knows in Iran, or maybe just know the Forough Farrokhzad is one of the greatest poets in Iran and so well known because of she was the activist and the feminist in the Iran culture, and then she was killed. Actually, not I don't know. She was.
It was an accident, I think. Yeah.
Because of the car accident, and then before the Islamic Revolution, and very young ages. She was 32 years old, and then just it was really shocking for family, and then. At that time, even she was kind of one of the avant-garde person and then most of the Iranian culture, they don't accept her as the symbol of the woman for their family, and then so that's why some of the people, the family proud of her because she was one of the first activists for the feminist. Before the Islamic Revolution.
Yeah, she was one of the, I think, poets that really talked about the womanhood and women desires. And then for us that we born And we were born in after the Islamic Revolution. She was also a kind of symbol that how we can explain ourselves and talk about more about what we want and what we need. And Furuk is a sister of Puran that you can see her portrait here, and then Freydun was another person of this family.
Yeah, he was also just the younger brother of this family, and then she was one of the activists. He was one of the activists. He was graduated in the that science in the Berlin, Munich, in Germany, and then he was killed after the Islamic Revolution, just because he was one of the member of the chain murder in the series in the Iran. So just after the Islamic Revolution, the government have not been really happy with them. So just they put more pressure on this family, and just Puran said that just it's kind of the revenge from my sister and my brother to me from the government. So just that's why she was banned she didn't have any permission to go out from the country, and just most of her books was banned, and just she didn't have any permission to publish. So just every day they control and they call, and also I'm sure that I was my talking through the telephone was checking with the I don't know.
With Puran, so yeah that's it always happens.
Yeah.
It's like a kind of, I heard that you had also close relationship with Puran after you started this project. So it's very interesting that as an artist you started to hear her voice and her story, that what happened to her, and also try to kind of be as a medium by working on this project, and as you said, record and transfer of the pain of Puran to the other people in the different contexts like Vancouver or other countries or other cities. Another thing that's important for me, and I think I'm kind of curious about it, is I remember that for I Am Here project that we worked together, the concept and meaning of distance was very important for you. So how do you see the concept of distance in this project?
Actually, just through the two-way, metaphorically and just technically, I try to get closer because when you are far away from some subject, you have your own interpretation, and just you don't, as I said, that you don't know how much you can trust the news. So as long as you get closer to the people or the subject, you have the more information. At that point, you can just have a more trustable data. So just in terms of the concept of my project, I try to get closer and just exercise myself, and then making sure how much that data I have gained, it's trustable. So, and in the technique of my photos, I just try to get closer to the eyes, because the eyes have seen a lot of pain, I've seen a lot of the events and the catastrophe. So just based on the Sumerian beliefs, that they believe that the eyes are soul of the gate of the soul. So just technically I just try to this passport format and no retouch and the documentary appearance.
It's very interesting for me because Mahdyar always trying to make a connection between science and art in his project, and for this one, when I heard that what he is doing with photography, it was kind of interesting. Maybe I share some parts with you. Because always, like, we talk together about the meaning of kind of audience, spectator and viewer for his project, because it's so related to this ecology of pain. When we were at home and make a decision to come here to this event, we were audiences. When we are here, if there is a kind of just viewing, it's a kind of a spectator. We have the place of a spectator. And when the kind of mental accessibility happens, so we have the kind of role of viewer. So what Mahdyar is doing is kind of abolishing the place of, the secure place of a spectator, and ask people to be a kind of more active viewer and think more about interpretation and the stories that comes behind the image. But in this context right now. And of course, always the gaze of viewer is a kind of, makes a kind of a certain surplus kind of knowledge and power over the gaze of artists. And even you as an artist try to kind of appropriate some kind of gaze for the audiences or for the spectators. You will be far from your self-control and for sure for your self-reflection here. But what you are doing is like a kind of decentralizing the role of artists and also the photography here. It's very interesting that he tries to gives more opportunity to the people as a viewer to have a kind of more active part, and he says that this kind of project would be completed by the people. The presence and also interpretation of the people creates this project exactly. It's not just a photo that is finished, and also we can call it the people here as a kind of receiver and producer, not just the people who are living in Vancouver and watching and observing the photographs. It was also very interesting that you said you had some of the researchers about science and also the relation between eyes and releasing the pain, right?
Yeah,
so could you explain more about this part?
Recently, scientists found out that they can measure, because one of the most crucial problem for the pain is not measurable. So just it is the big struggle for the scientists. It's not measurable. So but recently the scientists found out that just they can measure how much the pain the patient can suffer through the pupil eyes. So just it's the latest researchers released in January 2019. So I thought yes, it is still, I was not scientist of the eye and the pain, but just I try to just record of that. And I have to say that it's kind of risky for me in this project, because sometimes I feel that I am walking on the blade. So just maybe I even though I know that Susan Sontag said that just somehow it's not possible to bring how much the pain the people suffer the pain through the Vietnam's photos.
Yeah.
And then, but just I think during this project, I try to my best to only record, but just I'm not again who want to judge this one.
Yeah, also I remember that we both read when we were researching about Avicenna, that he says one of the kind of ways of releasing the pain is eyes washing in Renaissance. So, and also the medium itself very interesting for me, that because you are a multimedia artist, you've worked with many different media, but you selected photography here. And also how you think about the kind of frame, and because you're always playing with the zoom in, zoom out in your projects, and how you kind of, by zooming into the face of people and showing the eyes, one with the closed eyes and also with one with the open eyes, you make a kind of situation and a stage for the people to be more active and show them a kind of, there is always a kind of frame in the photograph that it reminds us that, Of course, we can have our interpretation, but it's very difficult to kind of be close to some kind of socio-political, cultural structures and layers from each others. And even when we want to make a kind of connection between the kind of caring about each other, caring about others, sometimes understanding and interpreting this kind of layers is very difficult for us and give us a kind of special role. Also, it's like a kind of with the closed eyes and the open eyes. It's interesting in Farsi in language when you want to read the text, because I see it's a kind of cultural text when you are in front of this kind of artworks that comes from different culture. So it always we start to read from right to left, but in English it's left to right. And how this kind of different actions shows our different, cultures and variety of kind of systems.
Just do you know that somehow just some people believe that the silent is the golden notes. So just I try, and somehow we experience in our life, or just we see in the pain of the others. Just when you close your eyes, your imagination, it will be highlighted and colored. So just through the technical way, when I was started to just interview and get closer to the, for example, Puran, I never asked them directly to just please try to imagine at that catastrophe, it makes you sad or something like that, because I was so worried about that, because maybe I was keeping to say myself that they are not my animal in the cage, all right? So just we are friends, and just I was so grateful to they trust me for this project. So I just only started to just talking about that everything that they want, and just ask them to, because suddenly you find that they have a lot of story, and that they suffered a lot of pain, and just I asked them, okay, Puran, please close your eyes, and just when they had talking about that, just it has some influence on the face physically. So just it was really strong for me. Just ask her to please close your eyes and just be yourself, nothing. And then, yeah.
Yeah, like a kind of, as one of the viewer here, when I look at the kind of open eyes portrait, it's like a kind of, make a kind of connection and familiarization. And when I see the closed eyes, it's like a kind of, you playing with the kind of some concepts that is created in my mind, because as a viewer, I think I know what what they are thinking about, or what is the story, and then it's a kind of disruption and gives more kind of freedom to the interpretation. Another question is about the definition of ongoing project. I know that also for this project you wanted to have more research and find a person in Vancouver to take a photo and show it in this exhibition, and you didn't have enough time, but because always you have 1 year or 2 years to research on each project. So
actually, just the reason I was so interested about this project, it was the ongoing, and just I was not really limit the project only to Iran, because I try to expand around the Earth. So just with the recording of the evidence, I try to, again, I'm not support some ideology or some beliefs. I'm just here to record all of them. So if we put all of this record beside each other, the people comes and they have their own interpretation, and I love to hear their own interpretation. So just so the people can face with some evidence, can have their own dialogue, and it's just only the record.
So
That's,
maybe it's like a kind of socio aesthetic events that you create that's so related to the triangle of you as an author, also the kind of viewers here and the context.
Technically, I would love to say that it was really difficult to me because especially the Puran, because she's also just checking the telephone and every person goes there and what she's doing like that. She's passed away. It's 1 year ago she passed away. And then just at the first time when I was met her, because she had every week she had the poetry night reading. And then I attend to the one of this night and just wrote my haiku and just my poetry because sometimes I wrote that, and I found that she never loved my poetry. It was disappointing for me.
That's good. You have a
position. But she likes my photos and just my beliefs. That's why it was so promising.
Yeah. Thank you, Mahdyar. If you want to add anything, please tell us. And if there is nothing, we can also share this more, have a more conversation, and have a kind of question and answer. Together.
I want to say something that's more about that. If I just concentrate about the eyes, because I think the simplest reaction of every human, even in the face of the supreme catastrophe or the pain, is just their eyes. Just sometimes they don't. You are not able to react, even move your body or hand or just scream or just cry. Just you are just trying your eyes. It will be just you. Maybe sometimes you close your eyes or just only the simplest reaction is inside your eyes. That's why I concentrate on the eyes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So please, if you have any question, let's start a kind of conversation together about this project.
Please.
I'm just wondering how many portraits were in the series so far.
Because just during this project, I just selected near the 10% in Iran and just talk with them, and then some of them, because even I know that because most of them, they were the opposition of the current regime, and they were so just all of the connection with them, they are checking and controlling. So just the most of them, I mean that 7 of them, they don't like to be part of the project yet, but just right now, I have to take a picture from the 3 of them. So but it will be expand around the war. And,
but how will you? I mean, you talked about not being able to. You couldn't get a subject here yet that you could do that photograph.
Yeah.
What does it take for them to have the right characteristics? You got like a painometer that you're like, you got enough, how do you do it?
Actually, just most of my projects belong to the research. So just I try to get the data and information. I know that it's the walking again on the blade. So just I think with the research more, I think we can get some person, and then the people maybe judge it's it's nonsense, or maybe it really works. I don't know. You should tell me in the future.
It's interesting because we were talking about this, and you were talking about how you felt you really didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
In the sense
That's what.
to do the research here
Yeah.
because of the subtlety of being in relationship with the people that you photograph instead of being in a kind of voyeuristic.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And so that it could evolve very, very slowly.
Yeah.
In ways the time frame is just.
Yeah. And also, just I have to say that for the 2 of them, this person I have taken picture for, and the Puran also was the last photographer to take a picture of them, not with the selfie or something. It's just a professional photographer. And then, unfortunately, they passed away. They were so nice, really nice, and they really helped me to just encourage on my way and in terms of this way.
And also, I think you need for this when you're going to the different countries and contexts, you need time to
That's right.
research and understand the context.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
one of the important part of this project. Because I think by knowing more about, for example, in Vancouver, everything that's happened here, like cultural, socio-political things that happen in this city, that is, of course, it takes a long time, but maybe like a kind of, by consulting with some people here, you can find your subjects for the
Hopefully.
this project.
You can't walk into like a supermarket and see somebody who's a teller.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
There's something in her.
Yeah.
You can't say,
Yeah.
try and talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Well,
is.
that's not the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
So you have to build a relationship with people over time.
Yeah.
It's about
Yeah.
that process. Is that the research?
Research first, the journalism, and just those people have some idea, the story about this new location. So just as I said that I'm not who want to get the risk about this project. It's very dangerous, and maybe it will be so useful as a record of the documents and the evidence. So just it needs to do more research and be more making sure about that, because once again, Son Zontag said that because the both of the part of the battle tried to catch the say that just it is the reality, these photos from, and then we are the win, but maybe the reality it will be so different. So first of all, I have to make sure about that, how much this data it's trustable.
Yeah. And as she said, it's like a kind of more closeness and
Yeah, exactly.
helps you to understand about the pain story of the people.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe talking about the pain is painful, so I'm sorry about that. Okay.
So, yeah, if you have any question, please share or comments, and that helps this project.
Yeah. Please help me.
Yeah.
If you meet somebody and you create a relationship with them, with a photograph, there might not be anything that I would see that would give me any information about the experience of that person that might relate to your idea of pain. So is there a concept of the pain subject that you have? Or some expectation that I should have as I approach something? I mean, if someone was smiling, for example, you would have to tell me something about that, rather than me encountering it and having the experience that you would ask me to have. So anyway, I'm just
It's sometimes very difficult. As you said, it's like a kind of people doesn't show the pain sometimes in their face, and it's like a more connection. And I think the important part is that continuing the methods that Mahdyar using in his project also for the people as a viewer, because when we see the people that has a pain, of course, by being close to that person and also knowing more and researching more, we can understand and kind of not exactly that pain, but a kind of some maybe some facts about pain, and find out that there is a pain in this person. But for sure, I think this project is like a kind of shows our duty as a viewer, as a person who is an interpreter, the person who tries to kind of be an active actor, and a person who wants to understand the story of the people, the pain story of the people. It's not just people comes and say, we have the pain, And if we have all these problems like what we are hearing from the media. So I think this project shows that we all have a kind of responsibility for understanding the pain of others and caring about them. It's sometimes doesn't show exactly what is the pain and what is the measure of the pain in the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.